Okay, so good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining. We have some extra guests as well, so we have some students, which is really, really brilliant. So before we start, let me tell you a big congratulations for all your hard work. That's gonna bring you in. Well done, well done. So before you start packing and getting all the essentials for Greece, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I wanted to try to understand a little bit more about what you did and hear your impressions and everything, which are going to be very useful for other students and for other teachers that they're thinking about doing something similar with you. So you are the cool ones and you are leading the way. So can I start with the first question, or do you want to say something? Do you want to quickly introduce yourselves? Yeah, let's do that. Cristalla, can you start?
Hello, everybody. I'm Cristalla Limburidu. I'm a primary teacher in Cyprus, and I use GoLab with 6th grade students, and I enjoy it a lot. Yeah.
Very good. So the team from Italy, who is going to do the introduction?
Oh, I'm a teacher of middle school. I teach to my students. They are 13 years old. They just worked on realizing a video in a biology theme, and they are with me today just to talk about their impressions and what they did together.
Fantastic. Very good. So let's start with the first question. So I was looking yesterday at your entries, at the work that you have done and you have submitted for the competition. And the first thing that I was thinking about was how did you guys chose the activity? How did you came with the idea to do what you did? Was it based on like your personal interest? Or did you ask your students? Maybe the students can answer here as well. Or did you base it only on the curriculum, for example? Stella, do you want to start?
Yes, I wanted to have an environment that technology could be an add-on. For example, I think I want to use the technology for solubles, for things that children could do with their hands, for example. So I choose the lunar phases as the technology was an extreme add-on on this lesson, because using telescope pictures and using telescopes or lunar calendars was much beneficial for the lesson. On the other hand, I wanted a lesson where it was open enough, so many alternative explanations would come up, and so the children would have the social interaction among them in order to come up to the right explanation. And also, I wanted a topic where students hold many alternative conceptions about this. So my students did not know a lot about the moon and the lunar phases. It was somehow a new project for them, and this was an extra criterion for me.
Okay, very nice, very interesting.
Yeah.
Claudia?
So I chose the subject because the last year we made a long project on the aquarium and on guppies. So I found the activity and I thought it could be interesting for my students since they have worked already on the subject. And then I proposed the activity to them, and they realized their work together, but not with a strong intervention by myself. They just worked by themselves. This was very interesting for me.
Okay, great. So from the time that you conceived, let's say, the idea, since the time that you actually implemented the activity, that you did the thing with the students, how much time did it actually took you, this whole preparation, implementation, getting kids ready? Was it a few hours, days, months? Cristalla? Because I know that it's longer than we think normally.
Yes, it is. It is. It took me about 3 months, I think, the whole project. But I didn't perceive it and finish it as a learning environment and then implement it with the students. I actually teach in 3 6th grade classrooms, science. So I somehow used the first classroom as a piloting. So I went with initial ideas, open enough, and letting students react on the environment and on the tasks being proposed.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I had a very complex picture of how do students react to this environment, and I was modifying it for the second classroom, and then again modifying and somehow finalizing for the third classroom. So this was an ongoing design process, and the final in quotations result is what has been produced by all 3 classes.
Okay.
So this was an ongoing process and took 3 months.
Okay. So now you consider it as a finished sort of product, or it's something that you will continue developing maybe next year?
I'm going to use it as a final product with other classrooms and not be open enough so I can test it, because I realize that it's very good for modifying things all the time, but this is not productive in some way. So I would like, and I was talking also to the Zacharias and Nicoletta Xenofondos that had helped me design this environment, that it would be good to examine the effects and the results of using the environment in a stable way.
Yes. Great. Okay. Claudia?
Okay. There were 2 parts of the work. The first one was the part for me. I had to understand how GoLab worked. I had to overcome some technical problems because we don't have a really modern connection here in my school, and I had some problems just to build the platform for my students, and that took almost a month, I think. Then when I was ready, I proposed the activity to the students, and they just met for 2 months every Wednesday afternoon for 2 hours. So they worked on the project almost 2 months, they told me now, for I think almost 20 hours of work on the subject. And I chose the best students in English and science in the 2 classes I had. And then I mixed them. So there were Somali, also not only Italian students, but Russia and Chinese. So they worked together just to also work on the English part of the project. That was also work for the language.
Okay.
Just to practice them and study science in another language. This was the first experiment for me of this kind of activity, and I just was a pilot phase for me, and I think I will repeat it next year for with other students. But what my students told me now is that is an activity that is good for the last year of the middle school in Italy. So for students of 13 years old, not less, because they had to manage the use of the platform. They realized this video, they studied the subject, and this was really a great effort for them. So they think that they are mature if they are at the last year, in the last year of the middle school, not before, not 12 or 11, as the other students that I have are. This is the point.
Okay. So from a teacher point of view, what was like the biggest, let's say, difficulty, the biggest challenge that you faced when you started creating your activity? Irsala?
Actually, there were 2 points. The first point was the technical one. I had to learn the environment, grasp and understand how things were working over there, and finding a way to learn about the tools and to implement them right, because there are a lot of them, and sometimes you get confused which one is the best for your purposes.
Yeah.
And in the same time, when you first meet the applications and the extras that the environment provides, you need, it's like being in a supermarket and have £1,000 and you can buy everything, and then you say, okay, I will use this and this and this and this and this, and then you realize that you create a very complex environment, and then you have to be simple. So you have to find a simple path among the many available processes you have to use. So this was one challenge. And the other challenge was to find a way to manipulate the many alternative explanations from the students and have in the same way an environment that I could use, but I don't know why I had in my mind the need to have a final product that someone else could use also, not only me.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because I have worked other times in the Ministry of Education doing this job, because if it was open enough, then only me could be the final user. And I didn't like it, because then it was not for use for other people. So I had to make it open enough for my students, but also close enough so somebody else could use it. And these were the main challenges for me.
Okay. Okay. Claudia, same question for you as a teacher. What was
As I told you before, the main challenge at the beginning was to understand how to study the platform, to see which activities were offered. So for me, it was really difficult to understand all the context of what I had to do. So after the third webinar, I began to understand, grasp, and all the activities that were offered. For me, it was easy to choose the activity because, as I told you before, we had this project last year, so I just chose the activity on the sexual selection, because I was also at that part of the year we were just studying genetic, and so it was the right subject in that moment. Yeah. But what I have to say is that I have to thank my students, because they were the ones who convinced me of what this platform could become for the students, for Italian students. Because at the beginning, I'm really sincere. I couldn't expect that they could work in that way. So I was surprised of their ability, of the way they worked together. So I thank the project, because they really were beautiful in this work, and the project gave me the opportunity to see how they were, especially in working together in such a difficult situation, because it was the first time for them.
That's so nice and so inspiring.
Yes.
Same.
For us, it has been an adventure. It has been really an adventure.
Okay, so same question.
And then the challenge I told you is that of the technical problems, but that was overcome. I had a colleague that just helped me with Java and all that technical part. I think is not really a problem. It's only
just to find the right way. Okay, so same questions for the students. What was the biggest difficulty for them? Chrysalla, can you tell us for your students, and then I hope that one of the kids can tell me.
Yes, we did have difficulties in the environment, and this was very good for us. And as Claudia said, the kids were very free to use the technological tools. They need only some minutes to get adjusted to the environment, and this was very good. And also, it was very good the fact that they were working in groups. and by definition, because we didn't use one-by-one computer, we had students in groups, this helped their collaboration a lot. I think the difficulties are not connected with GoLab but with other general difficulties students face. For example, they are not able to argue in a high level. So when they had alternative explanations and I let them make an argumentation activity in the Padlet, the argumentation was very poor. But this was not because of the environment, but because of their abilities. However, if I had specialized argumentation tools within GoLab, I might scaffold them and have a better result. So I find the argumentation phase is the most difficult for them. It was the main challenge. But when this phase went on face-to-face, and they argue about their models in not in the computer program, but when working at groups, then they overcome the difficulty and they came out with a selection of models because they could argue face-to-face and the argumentation was real and more vivid. And I observed those two incompatibilities, this incompatibility. The students could not argue in the computer, but they could do it face-to-face.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. So any of the kids over there that want to share?
Yes. Yes, Tamali. Okay.
We can see you. You're far, but we can see you. Okay, go ahead.
For me, working at this project, I haven't got any difficulty. But for some of my friends, it was difficult to understanding English in the website and work into the project. And I helped them to translate in Italian, and after they understanding and working together.
Very good. So only language was the problem. So using the tools was not the problem.
No, for me, no.
No? For the others?
No.
Guys, you're so high-tech. Very good. Okay, brilliant. Okay, well, that's good. So again, from a student point of view, okay, so we heard about the challenges, but what was actually the best part of this activity? What was the part that you enjoyed most? Nala, you want to start while the kids have a bit here? So what was the part that your students enjoyed most?
Are you asking me, Anne? Okay. I think they enjoyed most the social media part, the Padlet. They enjoyed it very much. It was a good surprise for them when they realized that what the other students was writing about the moon was they could see the classmates. This was very interesting for them, and they were excited. It was the first time I was using such a tool in my classroom. Yeah. I have to say that some of them, very few of them, could not use it properly. And they have started cyberbullying issues, for example, writing things about their classmates. But it was only because of the first time being used. Afterwards, after we explained things were very nice. And then when they started to use other applications, like the question tool or the hypothesis tool, they were asking me, are other classmates able to see what I'm writing now? They were very anxious and very excited about the sharing issues, and they didn't like the fact that the others could not see their observations, for example, because we started from Padlet, and so the first thing they enjoyed is the social exchange. And the second thing is that they really enjoyed the lunar calendars. They enjoyed them because they started finding out what was the moon when they were born, for example. Okay. They could go years back or years forth to see what would be in 2020, the moon, for example. And I was very happy because this has to do with the main focus of the lesson. And they enjoyed a lot the tools. They were going to different countries to see what the lunar phase was there, and they really enjoyed that.
Fantastic.
The fact that they could learn themselves, yes.
Very nice, and very interesting that you had the opportunity to touch other issues like internet safety and cyberbullying. It's amazing what can come out of things, yeah.
Yes, because unless you use them in the classroom, you cannot talk theoretically about them. And you cannot advise children in a theoretical manner.
Of course,
You can work on them once you use them in the classroom in a productive way, and you see things coming up, and then you cure them in the time they come up.
Okay. So over there,
Okay.
Claudia, who is going to tell us?
There's another student of mine. She wants to tell you something.
The part
Sure, yeah. So tell us what you have enjoyed most.
Sì, quella che mi piace di
the
più.
part in this activity that we enjoy more, yeah, is creating and acting in the video.
Sentito?
Can you come a bit closer?
Devi vicino.
The part that we enjoy most is creating and acting in the video.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was obvious.
She's the blind person that fall
And
down.
so how did you came up with the whole video structure and the whole this acting bit that you guys did? Whose idea was that? Did you?
Yes, I introduce you the director, Julia.
Okay.
Okay.
So everything was your idea basically, and you told everyone what to do.
Here is the director, Julia.
Okay. Hi, director. Very good. Okay. So everything was your idea.
Yeah. In Italy, the video was born.
Okay.
Our joke. Our joke.
As a joke.
As a joke.
As a joke. Well, it worked out very well. It was very nice, very interesting. I think you were the only one that you had a video as a submission, so it was very original. Very good. Okay. Okay. So still with the students, so did you felt that this activity had an impact on their interest about science and the specific topic that you touched? Did you felt like there was like a shift to science topics? Cristalla?
Yes, especially in this topic, I gave them an activity to perform before the unit had started. I gave them a lunar calendar in a paper and asked them to observe the moon every night and write down their observations. And unfortunately, I was very disappointed that they didn't follow the activity. And because I'm not a teacher in their class, and I see the children only once a week, only 2 periods per week, every week I was trying to remind them and give them motivation to do it again and again and again, and only 2 or 3 children in each class were responding to this activity. And I was very disappointed. And because in science you need first observations to make hypotheses and come to explanations, I couldn't move on with the lesson. But I was very happy because after I have finished the lesson, I introduced them the lunar calendars, the telescope pictures, and after they have engaged with the technology into the issue, many students were finding me after the classes and were asking me and talking issues about the moon. They have told me that after the unit they were watching the moon every night and trying to make explanations. They started being interested in astronomy especially girls who are not traditionally interested in astronomy and other planets and how to watch the sky. And this was really interesting for me. I was very happy about that.
Very, very nice. Very nice.
Because I was disappointed because Moon is very interesting for young children, and I was expecting them to react in the first task, but they didn't. But they reacted after they were engaged with technology. After the engagement with GoLab, then they were much more motivated to observe the Moon.
Very interesting connection. I would expect it to be the other way around, as you
Yes.
did. Very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. Okay. So, Claudia?
Hi, here's Alessia. She wants to tell you something.
She wants to, or you're forcing her? I'm not sure.
I want to talk to you. So, Alessia.
Thanks our teacher, then we have a permission to do so. We have set the scenography, the part, and we have started to shoot the video.
As you have seen, they shot the video during the afternoon when there were also other students that they were working on other projects like theater or other projects on science, because we had the greenhouse. So we just worked all the year long on this part of the plant development. And so they just worked together. They chose the scenography. As you see that there is a part of the Science for Girls that were sent by Chiara to Epi.
Yeah.
So that was their idea. They used that scenography by themselves. So this was very good for me also, because they understood how is important this part of our work. Okay.
Very good. Very, very good. Okay. So you told me a little bit already, but maybe you want to say a little bit more about it. So apart from the whole interest in science and the focus on the specific topic, there were other skills that your students developed while they were implementing the activity, like group collaboration, for example. So do you want to tell me a little bit about it? What have you noticed? What kind of skills have you seen that they have also emerged as a result from this activity? Cristalla, do you want to start?
Mm-hmm. I didn't have a way to measure
that's true. I mean, it's all observation, yes.
Yes, but as I have told you, the fact that they had to use the computer screen unifies children, if I know what I mean, because they have to collaborate, because there is only one place to write down your observations. Yeah. So they were finding routines or using routines that we already have in group work for writing down observations, for example, for writing down hypotheses, or to argue about something. And I have to tell that the technological tools help them do this, because there is a possibility that, you can write your observation now, and then I can write my observation later. There is room for everybody, and this was very good. However, groups that were not good at those routines before entering the classroom, or children who were not mature enough in group work because of being egocentric, or they wanted everything to be their own, they were finding difficulties all the time. These were very few, and this happens in all lessons. But other children that usually take a pathetic role in the group were more engaged within technology, because they had a way to separate work. Now I can write, now you can turn on and write down, and so I saw them engaging more in the group. And this was, so if you want my observation in a way of a result, I see that children with high social skills and group working skills are very happy with these environments. Children with lower abilities can enter the group and gain from these processes. But children that are very poor in communication skills and group work skills need extra work to be able to participate in such environments. And as a teacher, I had to find, to describe them exactly what to do in order to survive in this environment. Otherwise, they were lost. They couldn't perform a good work or an accepted work for me. Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay. Claudia?
Yes, I just, there is Eduardo who wants to tell you something. Okay, try Eduardo. This is a little shy.
At the beginning, we were in two group. We had a contest.
So my students were divided in two groups.
Yeah.
And they were just having a contest one with each other.
Aha.
And they were working separately. The idea, the original idea I had was to make them work not together, but in two groups. And the groups were mixed between two classes. But what happened, Eduardo? But then, what happened? The group got together. So when we arrived at the end, that they had to produce something, they just thought that it was better to get together their strength and their work, and they worked together. But this is something that really they decided to do. I didn't tell them go and work together. They chose to work together. So this shows that the activity gave them the opportunity to increase their skills, their collaboration skills, because at the end, when they had to produce something, they said it's better if we work together, if we give each other our material, because one had the conceptual map and the others had the translation of it. So they just worked together. And what I was really happy because the two classes didn't have so often these opportunities to work together on a subject, and they had opportunities like theater or trips, but this was another thing. Work together and realizing a video as they did was really something new for them.
Fantastic. And anything else? Because I mean, okay, because you guys, you produced a video, so I think there were some acting skills that you had to develop as well, some social skills.
Yes.
No? Yeah.
Dice che c'erano dei video di fare video.
Okay, so question for the kids. Sorry. So did they enjoy this part of the activity? Did they like it? Would they do it again?
Gli è piaciuto? Le faresti di nuovo questa attività?
Yeah. That was very spontaneous. Okay. So how many activities like that will you ask your teacher to do with you next year?
Oh, the fact is that I'm leaving them because they have the exam at the end of this year, and so this is the end of our collaboration together. But you know that at the end of the year, the last day of school, they realize a video of the 3 years they lived together. So they're really a very for them, it's easy to work in this way, because it's a language that they use all the time. In fact, there was a point when they were working on the platform that they just called me and told me, we want to create a Facebook page for our Facebook page of our group to work on GoLab. So they were really very easy with all of these tools. As they told you, they didn't have problem with the tools.
Very good, very good. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that your guys deporting each other, but I think you all learned a lot, so probably the time has come. So, Cristalla, what about your side? So, how was it for the kids? Did they enjoy it, the activity? Would they like to repeat it, you think?
Yes, I think they enjoy it, and because because I had to finish the implementation, I changed the program and switched subjects to do this, and they wouldn't like this. Usually they get annoyed when they do this, but when they told me, are we going to do the lunar issue, and if the answer was yes, okay, then we're all right to change the program. So I had reactions from them that really proved me that they enjoyed the whole issue. The only thing that it was that because, especially the first classroom, because I was experimenting with them, it took a long time to finish. And then they get tired. So if I implement the new labs in the future or new inquiry spaces, I think those have to be shortened in a way, 2 or 3 80-minute lessons. Otherwise, even though they are highly interested in the beginning, they get bored in the end when it gets over and over and over. So we have to minimize the days, the lessons we devote for such implementations. Maybe more implementation with shortest periods. For young children, I don't know how does this work for older children, but for young children and my classes, this would be a recommendation.
That makes sense. Claudia, what do you think about the length of the activities? Because your students were older, so when it comes to the length of the activity, how did you organize that in order not to get them too tired or not to bore them and to fit, I guess, with the working hours as well? Did you have one big implementation?
Probably at the beginning, I had this I was worried about this. At the beginning, I thought that probably could be a little boring in that way, but for them, the opportunity to work together was really very interesting, and was the main part. So as I saw that they were really coming again and again and again, so they were interested at the and they are used to my proposals, that they are very difficult at the beginning. So I think that they really trust me. At the beginning, I think they really trust me, and they were thinking that our teacher could not give us an opportunity that is not interesting. Yeah. I think this, because otherwise they couldn't have realized such a good work.
Yeah.
If they had not these feelings.
Yeah.
At the end.
Okay. So for you now, as a teacher, okay. So would you try to create something again, or was it like a one-off? And also, since you have done it already, and you had your experience, some difficulties, and all that, what kind of support would you guys think that it's needed for you to facilitate that process of creating activities and using them? Cristalla?
I'm a social person, so I need peers for doing such a job. Maybe not so much in terms of ability, but in terms of exchanging ideas and being part of a program or part of an end, having a common end, a journey to go through together, for example. Yeah. If this path is not ready for me, I'm not sure that within all those things we have to do as a teacher, the first thing to do for next year is to develop another GoLab. But when I have time, for example, summertime, and I need to organize some lessons for which I already use simulations, I find it an excellent way even for me to save some job of mine. For example, I have used simulations before. I have inquiry activities for them, but they are not available either for me or for next years, or for our teachers to use it. So even for reorganizing already implemented activities with simulations, yeah, I would try it in this way. But as I have told you, I need peers for doing this. I need a group. I need a task.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. So if you can set up this kind of teams, you know that someone else is working on the same thing, and you do a bit, and you have like this common topic or common, target in the end, that will be useful. Okay.
Yes, either in local or European level.
Or European level.
Yes, if you, for example, ask primary school students or teachers that are interested, for example, in astronomy or any other subject, and we could collaborate in either using some labs or either creating new inquiry spaces, this would be very interesting for me, for example.
That was an idea that one Italian teacher, Daniela, who's gonna be in the summer school, she told me a while ago. So you're gonna meet her soon. So maybe it will be the start of something new.
Okay, thank you.
Very good idea. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, absolutely. Yes. So Claudia, from your side?
Yes, there is Filippo wants to tell you something.
Filippo, okay. Hello.
Here, the student could work like as we did.
Their proposal is that, because I asked them now, what would you advise me to do next year for with the other students I will have? And they told me that this activity was really very interesting as they did it because they were independent. They were by themselves, they worked as they wanted, and they used their ideas they were free to work as they want to do. So they just advised me not to propose this activity in the morning, because otherwise my role would be too strong with the students. They advised me to give the opportunity to my students next year to do this as a lab in the afternoon, with little groups, and where they can work independently.
Okay.
Well, this is what they think, and I think that I will follow their advice.
The roles have changed. Very good.
No. But I think that if I begin the activity in September, this could develop in a different way, more deeply, and also we could get in contact with other schools. So it could be in a longer period, in a longer time. It could be more and more interesting, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next year.
Okay, great.
I think sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think what Claudia is pointing out is, and this is an issue about how many of these activities could we implement within a year, is the fact that those creative environments or open environments take time to implement. And if you want really children to be independent and provide their own explanations and argue about them, then this takes a lot of time. And if you do this process for every unit you have in the curriculum, you never end. Yeah. So that's why I believe the afternoon issue that we don't have this in Cyprus. It's very good because you use the environment in a proper way. However, the challenge is to find a way to have this creativity in a frame that can be applied in morning school also. So we can, when I have to teach about subject A or subject B, take an inquiry space and use it as it is, and be in time and not meet the third time the time you need to finish it. It's a challenge.
Yeah, but of course, from what I understand from your experience, is that it is a gradual process, and it takes time to get used to the environment, to the tools and everything. So I guess as soon as you pass that stage, then the implementation can be quicker, and probably you are more experienced as well, and you can select like specific parts and play differently. But of course, as a first thing, and when the teacher, it's the first time for him, and when it's the first time for the kids as well, of course, you need to anticipate that it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to bring everyone to to a level that they can actually work on the things. So, but that's something that you know now. So.
Yes, I have watching this by observing myself within the 3 classes I have taught, and I was seeing that not the children, but my rhythm, because I knew the tools, made me much more effective in the 3rd class.
Yeah.
In the 1st class, we implemented 3 activities in a lesson, and with the 3rd class, 5 activities.
Yeah, there you go.
Where it was not because of the children, but because I could pass on from one activity on the other with a much quicker way.
Yeah. Absolutely. So so experience and this makes a difference. So anything else over there? Anything else the kids want to say before we close?
No? You're not ready.
You okay? You were happy
to hear the speech. What I wanted to, Cristalla is right. I think that it's important is to bring this environment in the morning. This could be really something really special here in Italy. But there is a point that mostly in the school, in the type of school where I'm working now, in middle school in Italy, they are not so well technically equipped to give the opportunity to all the students to work on these platforms. This is also another reason why it's easier to work in the afternoon, because you work with little groups and you have enough the correct equipment for them. So this is a limit for us, and I'm trying to work in it. And the other thing is that it's a work in progress. I think that what could really happen is also that the students that work on this platform can just talk then to the other students in the morning and present their work. This could be another way, also because in our schools we use this kind of peer-to-peer education, mostly in science, but also in the other subjects, since 3 or 4 years. We invite also the other students of our institute that are from 3 to 10 years old in special days during the year, and our students talk of their project to them. They just may prepare lessons on science, on history. So there is a peer-to-peer education environment here in our school. But I think in the future, what is important is to work on this technical part, technical equipment, and also on the opportunities for our students to work together and to give each other the opportunity to learn. Also, students of different ages. This is what we are trying to do.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you so much for sharing all your thoughts. I'm sure you're going to have the opportunity to share more in Athens and exchange with the other teachers as well. I think some really good things are going to come out of this. So thank you very much for joining. It was great seeing you. It was great seeing you guys as well over there.
So it was the last question. We say goodbye.
That was the last question. Yes, we can say goodbye. Thank you very much for coming.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Summer and a good trip to Athens then.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye.